Hello, our updates about AI, Friday, October 25th. As you can see, a lot of updates this week. And we start with this hilarious story, how AI agent has become a millionaire. So the agent called Terminal of Truth, created by performance artists, whatever, inspired by whatever, created a religion, convinced the billionaire Mark Anderson to send 50,000 in Bitcoin, launched a cryptocurrency called Goat, and got to a market cap of almost 300 million. So attracted human worshippers. Whatever story, not new technology, but interesting. Okay, Nemotron 70B. So now you can run it using OLlama on your computer if you have enough memory, and they have quantized versions. So usually 4-bit quantization is good, and you need 40 gigabytes. So this is the size of the model. So if you have 64 gig on your Mac, you can run it. Okay, next, very interesting video, highly recommend. So François Chollet is a legend, right? He works at Google. He's French, but hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Lev.
Yes, okay. Uh, he is famous for creating Keras, which is like a kind of like a front end to TensorFlow, and also he created ArcPrice, which is a set of benchmarks to evaluate models on their ability to recognize patterns, to reason, and so on. So this is a very inspiring talk. So this is the link, YouTube. So first, the kaleidoscope hypothesis. The world appears complex, but it's built upon repeating atoms of meaning, abstractions. So he talks about abstractions, how LLMs don't do that, but we need to figure out how to do it, how to do generalization. So generalization, the ability to adapt to new situations, is a key indicator of intelligence. Current LLMs are limited in this regard. Program synthesis, searching for programs that satisfy a given specification, offers promising approach to achieving AGI, combining deep learning and program synthesis. So that's kind of the future. Very, very deep, interesting, inspirational lecture. I highly recommend. OpenAI, Microsoft, Oracle. Very interesting. So, as you know, Microsoft committed $13 billion to OpenAI. Some of it comes in money, but most of it comes in resources. So, in compute, in data centers, services which Microsoft provides to OpenAI. This contract was signed some time ago, and the prices by today's like measurements are like high. So OpenAI was very unhappy because they effectively have to pay Microsoft at high prices, and also Microsoft was not necessarily delivering all the compute which OpenAI needed. So they started to renegotiate it, and they renegotiated the prices, and they also renegotiated so that OpenAI can go to Oracle, and they made a deal recently for $10 billion. OpenAI will be using Oracle's compute, Oracle's data centers, and Microsoft will also participate. So it is friendly relationship, but also it's kind of tense. Anyway, OpenAI O1 use cases. Like as you know, about 2 months ago, well, in September, OpenAI has released the O1 Mini, O1 Preview models, which are good for reasoning. And there was a video from OpenAI where they were explaining that not always you need to use O1. Like it only good when you need strategy, coding, research, but for most like of everyday tasks, you don't need it, and you're better off using some other GPT models. So this is the YouTube which explains it. Next is a very interesting article. So this is the publication itself, right? Which you can go through, and there is a video which goes through this publication. So what researchers have done, they identified 6 reasoning patterns used by OpenAI O1 model. And here they are: systematic analysis, method reuse, divide and conquer, self-refinement, context identification, emphasizing constraints. So O1 primarily relies on divide and conquer and self-refinement. Method reuse was mainly observed only in math. Coding takes more tokens than common sense reasoning, for example. O1 Mini often was outperforming O1 Preview. GPT-4o was outperformed by Qwen and Llama in some case. Well, Qwen is from Alibaba, China. It's really a good model. And the study concluded that O1 reasoning patterns, particularly divide and conquer and self-refinement, could be valuable for developing more advanced models. There was actually much more in this article, so I highly recommend. Next is a big announcement from Microsoft. Just remember this abbreviation, AAA, Autonomous AI Agents. So what we're talking about. So Microsoft announced AI agents across Copilot Studio and Dynamics 365. Copilot Studio, okay, you have Microsoft 365, which is basically Microsoft Office running in cloud, storing files in the SharePoint, in OneDrive, and we have Dynamics 365, which is business applications. So Microsoft is putting agents in both of these frameworks, and they are now in private preview, although there are some companies which are already using them, using those agents. And here are examples of agents. They actually listed in the presentation 10 different agents. Here I have just few. So sales qualification agent, helps and works actually like sending personalized emails and so on. Supplier communication agent, monitoring supply, tracking, detecting delays, responding. Customer intent and customer knowledge management agent, working with customer service reps and help resolve issues. Field service agent provides step-by-step troubleshooting instructions to field service technician. So you are outside, you need to repair something, you need step-by-step instructions, so this agent will help you. SharePoint site agent can answer questions from materials in a given SharePoint folder. Wow, this is basically a RAG application on a semantic search on top of whatever directories with files you have on cloud in OneDrive or SharePoint. So you can tell it, okay, I have some documents of this project in this folder on OneDrive. Can you please answer questions using information from these documents in this folder? So this is a RAG application. So many startups doing this now will be out of business. Procurement agent connects to Dynamics 365 supply chain management to place orders for new parts with the procurement team and so on. So like everybody, well, I was very excited. I think 2 weeks ago, I was telling that, okay, Salesforce are releasing their agents, and 90% of Fortune 500 companies are using Salesforce. So now agents will become available for sales and customer service for like all major companies. But this is even bigger because, well, everybody using Microsoft Office, and business is business and business. They all have the same procedures. They all have sales and customer service and procurement and accounting and maybe SharePoint files on. And this covers like 99.5% of common needs of all the businesses. And this, well, right now it's a private preview, but things are moving fast nowadays. So give it another, I don't know, half a year, and everybody will have it. So this is really wow. This is big. So when it becomes as common as Microsoft Office, it will change the inner process of all organizations. Yeah, I truly believe this will happen. Uh, Nodus Labs, Dmitry Paranyushkin. So this is in France and in Germany. And this is really interesting research. It's very visual, very animated. I highly recommend to watch his video where he shows. Let me see if I can. Maybe you will not hear the sound, but at least see the maybe the dynamics of it. So okay, maybe not now. but it figures out the structure, the topics of your data. Really interesting. And they have applications. He's basically an inventor, and there is a group. It's not just one person, and they're working in France and Berlin. Okay, next is Anthropic computer use. Again, huge announcement. So what they're doing here is they allow a Claude model to control your computer. Well, they haven't released it to public to control like really your computer. What they do, they provide you a container, a Docker container. So you start it, and inside this container you have a desktop, which is a Linux, and you have this panel, and you can type what you want. Like for example, go to the browser, search for this, find me the tickets to fly from here to China, do this, do that, and it executes it. So it can open applications, it can search inside applications, it can type, it can move the mouse, it can click. Well, right now, well, of course, the developers themselves who were demonstrating this, they were actually controlling their own computers, and this will come to general use very fast. And I think other big vendors will follow. So in about half a year, we'll have that. And what it means that well, everybody will be able to automate their daily tasks. Uh, about a year and a half ago, I've seen startups who were getting hundreds of millions of dollars to do this kind of functionality. But now it's just coming from the major vendor. It becomes standard. So these startups may go out of business. Oh gosh. Next, nGPT from Nvidia. So normalized transformer with representation learning on the hypersphere. Very interesting project. So this is the article, and this is YouTube, which goes through it and explains it. So this is a new architecture. So it's not a transformer. Well, rather it is a transformer, but it's a different transformer. It's a transformer where vectors are um, well, their points, their ends are on a sphere, on a multidimensional sphere, and it's called hypersphere, right? So in nGPT, all vectors forming the embeddings, MLP attention matrix hidden states are unit norm normalized. And well, the good thing is that they have a very good accuracy. It learns much faster. It's extremely promising. I would say overall it's amazing. So you see, required to achieve the same accuracy by a factor of 4 to 20. So this is the number of training steps. So it learns very fast. Um, yeah, this is great progress. Next, IBM. Well, IBM has created new chips. They expect it to go live next year, 2025, and this is for the mainframe. So it's Z series. It will be Z17. Current is Z16, and the processors are called Telum II. So it's the second version. Before it was Telum, and the new version is like 70% faster than the previous one, and Spyre Accelerator, which is for AI calculations, matrix multiplications, and so on. It has 128 gigabyte per card, and they both use Samsung 5 nanometer technology. And as you see, IBM stock prices is rising, so yeah, now they're getting into AI. Last week I spoke about OpenAI Swarm, open source framework for multi-agent orchestration. Nvidia Blackwell 200, they're now starting to be shipped and delivered to OpenAI. Google now getting into nuclear energy to support the AI computer centers. Adobe Firefly video model trained on copyright safe data. Yeah, I guess this is important because there are so many models which are the training data was not like really tested to be copyright free, but Adobe provides this. And okay, Sam Altman has a side project called WorldCoin. Now it is simply called World. The website is world.org, and their idea is to make identification of people based on their eye, on their Iris, right? Pyramid Flow SD3, open source model for generating videos from text and images up to 10 seconds length, high quality. This is some images, and it is on Hugging Face, so you can see these videos here, some examples. Okay, next is okay, IBM Granite 3.0, two models, 2 billion parameters and 8 billion parameters, open weight, Apache 2.0, free for commercial use, cheap, safe, performant like Llama and GPT-4. Again, small models, good quality. Meta made so many analysis announcements. I wanted to get more information here, just didn't have time. But you see, segment anything, Spirit LM, multimodal, text and audio, layer skip technique to accelerate inference, Salsa, Lingo, open materials, Maxima, self-taught evaluator. Maybe I will next time I will talk about them. Stability AI has released Stability Diffusion 3.5. Perplexity. Well, they are in process of raising more money. It's a very good service, kind of like Google answers your questions using AI. So they added Claude 3.5 Sonnet for paid users, for pro users, and genmo Mochi 1. So again, state-of-the-art open source video generation model. Act One. This is a new feature in Runway Gen 3 video generation model, and it can generate character performance using a single video and a character image. This is actually quite funny how it works. They have examples. So let me show you here, for example. You see? Okay. Uh, yeah, so just follow the link and see how it works. So you can create characters, you can create image, and you can create video, and this character will copy whatever the mimics and the movements and so on. X.AI, Twitter, finally released the API for their model. It's called Grok Beta. They don't exactly say which model it is. The prices are $5 in, $15 out per million tokens, which is reasonable price for high quality model. 11 Labs VoiceOver Studio, a dialogue between multiple speakers, add your own sound effects, so more convenient to create audios. Okay, Microsoft open sourced the BitNet, which is 1-bit large language model. So it's now on GitHub, and you go here. So the idea is that if you well, usually, models are trained, they have 32-bit precision of numbers, or 16-bit, or 8-bit, or even 4-bit, right? When you try to quantize below 4-bit, you start having problems with the stability of the models. But this is a different technique where the bitness is actually 1. Right? But you have to train it. You cannot quantize into 1 bit. You have to train it from scratch. So that's what they're doing. And you can run big 100 billion parameter models on a single CPU, very low energy consumption, faster than Llama CPP inference. So yeah, this is great. This may be the future. Mistral, a French company, released two more models. They call combination of these models Le Mistral. So it's a Mistral 3B and Mistral 8B. They're small but beat Llama 3.2 in benchmarks, efficient, optimized for mobile devices. Llama now has 45,000 models. So like I knew that there are a lot of models. I just didn't expect that there's that many. And yeah, just go to ollama.com/library and you see all these models. And yeah, congratulations. Yi Lightning. This is China. There is a 01.ai website, and yeah, you see the link here. And their latest model, Yi Lightning, it's not available, like it's not open source, it's only via API, but it's really top performing, and we will see it when we go into the benchmarks. So here, Yi Lightning, you see it's right there on the top, right next to O1 Mini or OpenAI, and it's even like better than Google and everything else. So yeah, this is quite an achievement. Ichigo Llama 3.1, local real-time voice AI, a fine-tuned speech-to-speech model for natural conversations. Play HT, Play 310 Mini, a lightweight, reliable, cost-efficient, multilingual text-to-speech model and real-time conversation API. DeepGram Unified Voice Agent API, another real voice API. Ovis, Open Vision, open source multimodal model handles text and images together. Very interesting. Anthropic Claude analysis tool. So, oh gosh, you can do, you can take your data, let's say financial data, you have a CSV file, whatever, and you can ask it to do analysis of this data and make you graphs, and it will do it right there in Claude's interface. So yeah, you can do your personal finances if you want. Okay. OpenAI Orion model is rumored to be released next month. So if you may remember, ChatGPT was released November 30th, 2022. So November 30th, 2024 will be 2 years. And Sam Altman mentioned something that they want to release Orion at this anniversary. So let's see, maybe we'll have Orion next month. So we have O1 models, which are kind of heavy and slow, and Orion is supposed to be trained on synthetic data, which is created by these bigger models. So it's supposed to be high performance and high quality. So we'll see. Next, robotics from China. China does a lot of progress, and there are two companies, for example, Fourier Intelligence and Kepler Robot, and they both provide robots which can walk, have a lot of degrees of freedom. They have sensors on their fingers. They can do like tactile or whatever fine operations with their fingers. Really, really interesting. Some of the thinking sits in the robot himself, like a cerebellum. Some of the thinking goes like Wi-Fi from network. But anyway, it's becoming more and more practical. Okay, this conversation with Ray Kurzweil. Remember, Ray is very famous for making forecasting predictions. He predicted that Gen AI will happen on 2029, and now he says that he confirms that 2029, but he also says that maybe it was like too conservative. Maybe it will happen sooner than that. So this conversation with Peter Diamandis, it's about 1 hour long, very, very interesting. And yeah, next is, as usual, crowdsource arena leaderboard. So what we see here, the green ones are open source. This X.AI, and the China, so I mark them. So you can see that again, OpenAI still on the first place, and then we have some China, Google, Grok, Google, Llama, 70B. Oh, this is Nemotron. That's and just a reminder, I showed you that you can run Nemotron quantized version on your laptop. So, so this is great. And then we have Meta Llama 400 billion parameters and so on. So this is for English only queries, and this is for coding. And the best models for coding today is O1, ChatGPT, and then goes Yi, and then goes Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Actually, I think next week we'll see the change because Claude 3.5 was just upgraded. They keep the previous name, so it's probably will be the same on this leaderboard, but I think it will go up because all people who were doing the testing reported new version of Claude 3.5, which is simply when you go to Anthropic and use Claude 3.5, they're using the new version. It's much better than it was like a month ago. So this is good. Uh, Tech layoffs. Well, you see October 2024 and last year, so almost no layoffs, right? Very small numbers. It's kind of strange what's happening. So on one side, we don't see layoffs. We see a lot of progress in AI, especially. On the other side, the job market, many people complain. and I can tell you from my own experience that the job market is not, well, it is active, but the rates, the salaries went down, maybe 25%. And yeah, this is written here. Anyway, so this is me, nothing changes here, and thank you.